Am I the a-hole for telling my cousin's fiancé that he scammed me in order to buy her a diamond ring, which resulted in the end of their relationship? 4 days ago, I received a call from my cousin, Charles. He is asking if he could borrow some money because his girlfriend's dog got into an accident and is in dire need of immediate surgery. I'm a dog lover, and Charles sounds panicking, so I got convinced easily. I lent him around $200, and that amount is no joke because I have to work for 5 days in order to earn that. Then yesterday, I met Charles' fiancée at the mall while I'm buying a new phone. My first thought was to ask how her dog is, but then I noticed that she's carrying her dog with her. The dog looks healthy, which left me confused, so I asked her about the accident, but even she was confused as well. Then she changed the topic right away by flexing her diamond ring. Apparently, Charles proposed to her 4 days ago. She said it was too sudden, and that the day before that, they had a really huge argument because Charles seems to be evading the talk about their marriage. And it made sense to me. There was no dog accident. Rather, Charles made up that story because he was desperate to buy her a diamond ring. I got furious because I hate it when people lie to me, so I told his fiancée about it. That Charles told me her dog got into an accident and I lent him $200 for the operation, which he probably used to buy her a diamond ring. She got silent before she said her goodbye. Then later, Charles barged into our home, furious and looking for me. He's mad because I told his fiancée that he scammed me, and now she broke up with him for good. He's blaming me for everything, especially since it is not confirmed whether or not he used my money to purchase the ring. In my defense, I told him that even if he didn't use my money to buy it, he still lied because the dog didn't get into an accident. Anyway, my mom sided with him, telling me that I should have at least confronted him first, rather than ruining a relationship and Charles' reputation. It's late night here, but I can't sleep because I'm still fuming in anger. It's unfair that everyone seems to be blaming me for this breakup. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. Your cousin lied. Plain and simple. It doesn't matter what he used the money for. He made up an emergency to try and scam money from you versus just asking to borrow money. She didn't break up with him because of you. She broke up with him because he is a liar and a manipulator. I guarantee it's been a pattern in their relationship. Not the a-hole. And this. If this was his first lie/manipulation and he was otherwise honest, Abe, this wouldn't have been an instant deal breaker. To be fair, I could totally understand this being an instant deal breaker. Even if this was the first time I realized something was off about someone, it would definitely have me reevaluating my entire understanding of that person, and I would probably at minimum put a hold on any marriage plans. Nevertheless, OP, this is not your fault. He brought this on himself for stealing and lying. Sucks that he and everyone else blames you for it, but I would probably give a you're the a-hole vote if you knew about it and didn't say anything. You are definitely immoral right here. Not the a-hole. You work hard for your money, and there is nothing worse than a moocher lying to take that money. That's why if someone in that situation were to tell me their dog needed surgery, I'd offer to go to the hospital with them and pay for it there. That way, I know where my money is going. I never give money to anyone, though I'm very generous, and I've helped others buy things and pay for things. But I do it directly. Rest assured, you are not the a-hole at all. And you didn't ruin his relationship. He did. Also, you probably did the girl a favor. Now she won't be married to a lying, scheming a-hole. Good on you. Years ago, when I was in a park in a sketchy area doing my college homework, I was approached by a lady who told me she was going through bad times and her babies were hungry. I was young and naive and looked it, but I started asking her what kind of food her kids liked. I told her I would be right back and went and got the makings for P&J sandwiches. Of course, she wasn't there when I got back, but I had a tender heart and didn't want to leave her kids hungry just in case she was telling me the truth. Next story. Am I the a-hole for throwing my boyfriend's kid's sandwich away? My boyfriend has a 4-year-old who was recently diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder. He has always had behavioral problems from what I've told. I've only known him a little over a year, and he definitely does have terror moments, but I actually thought people are being overdramatic because it never appeared to be that bad. The way they described the behavior truly made no sense because I never saw him act out terribly, only minor, and we have him 3 days a week. In light of his diagnosis, I went and grabbed a bunch of behavioral books from the library to study up on, and basically from what I gathered, when a child acts out in a certain way when having ODD, You were not supposed to play into it because I guess it's attention-seeking and poor judgment. Not sure how accurate it is. I'm no doctor and I only read a couple books on it. Far from an expert by any means. But anyways, boyfriend left me with his boy to go to work this evening, and my boyfriend's mom stopped by to hang out for a few. I made him a sandwich for dinner, per his request, with a side of macaroni salad. I don't know why this happened, or if perhaps his Grammys hit trigger, because I've never seen him act out like this. But he took his entire plate of food and tossed it on the floor before slamming the table repeatedly not even 5 minutes after she walked through the door. At first, I just gave the sandwich back, landed on the top of the plate. Well, he looked at me and tossed it back on the floor. This time face down. So I just walked over and tossed it in the garbage. Cue immediate meltdown. He's freaking out, my boyfriend's mom is freaking out. I wouldn't let him go to bed hungry, but I wasn't about to make him a new sandwich right then and have him toss that one too. So I was going to just wait until it calmed down. But anyways, boyfriend's mom calls boyfriend at work and tells him I just tossed the kid's food out, and my boyfriend lost his crap and drove home and told me to leave. He wouldn't even let me explain anything. Am I the a-hole? I don't have kids, so I don't know if I'm wrong. Not the a-hole, but the boyfriend and grandma's reaction. Your boyfriend only listened to his mother and didn't ask you. This kid is a package deal with a boyfriend. Is this what you really want? Yeah, grandma was definitely a trigger for this kid. And she isn't Opie's friend either. My guess is misplaced jealousy since she went out of her way to cause trouble. Opie, I recommend you collect your stuff from your boyfriend's house. You can make other childcare arrangements. And send him a detailed email with references to the books you read. He and his mother need to reflect on why they're not parenting. And he needs to reflect also on why he was willing to believe the worst of you. Not the a-hole. You were supposed to give him back a floor sandwich. The bigger problem here is that your boyfriend threw you out of the home without even letting you explain what happened. Time to move on. That's the most disturbing. He trusts you after 3 years. Then his mommy calls, doesn't tell the whole story, and he just throws you out? WTF? When and if you talk to him again, some strong boundaries need to be set. Not the a-hole. Beyond anything else, if he didn't let you explain yourself and immediately sided with his mother, then gestures everywhere. This is what you can expect moving forward in the relationship. Beyond the potential to side with his son and mother over you no matter what the issue, I get the sense that his mother, himself, and the kid are the type to throw, well, you aren't his mother. He told you to leave, you should take him at his word in my opinion and really leave. I couldn't imagine having a partner who did her own research on her own time about my son's diagnosis. Please give this love and support and amazingness to someone who deserves it. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for kicking my in-laws out? My husband, 25, and I, 23, female, purchased our first home 6 months ago. A 4-bedroom home as we hope to have children soon. My mother-in-law, 52, and father-in-law, 51, are currently living with us for the last 3 months as they are having their home completely remodeled. I am a very private person and protective of my belongings, as I grew up with 5 siblings and my stuff was always stolen, so I make sure that I have my stuff and no one touches without asking. We have a lock in our bedroom door and we'll lock it when we leave each day because we have personal items and don't need anyone snooping. I had cameras installed in the house because our neighbor's house got broken into last month, and if that were to happen to us, I would want proof and to find out who it was, so we had them installed. Well, my husband and I left out of town for the weekend to get away and be alone. On our way home, the camera in our bedroom notified us of movement, and I was surprised as our room is locked. So I looked at the footage, and there's my in-laws going through my stuff. My mother-in-law threw away my toys, and she ripped the sheets off our bed. She threw them into the restroom and ripped them up. I don't know why. And my father-in-law was throwing out my husband and my clothes from our drawers. My husband and I were furious. When we got home, we saw our room and asked them why they would do this. And they said that they were sure we were hiding that we were secretly pregnant, and they wanted proof, ultrasound photos, to show their friends that they're going to be grandparents. I was furious, and I told them to get out of our home, and that they need to pay for the items that were damaged. They still haven't apologized for their behavior or reimbursed us, and I will not allow them into our home until they do. My husband agrees with me, but his siblings are pissed that we kicked their parents out because now one of them has to take them in. So, am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Not the a-hole, but the in-laws are feral. The siblings of your husband are pissed because now they will have to be responsible for the ferals and are scared what they might destroy in the next house. Stand your ground. If no one wants them, they can go to a motel. Send the videos around to the family. Not a-hole. Nah, wait until you use them for evidence of the deliberate nature and monetary value of their wanton destruction spree in small claims court. Then send them around to everybody. Not a-hole. But what the hell does ripping up sheets or throwing things away have to do with pregnancy? That makes zero sense. Are they nuts? That's what I said. Nothing makes sense with them. I would take them to court and won't let them have a relationship with your future kid. What the hell is wrong with these people? Not a-hole. They are lucky that you're not going to live in having them charged with destruction of property. In the meantime, change the locks on your doors and garage, even if it's just a barrel to your doors. And speak with a lawyer about having them served with a cease and desist letter if they continue their crap, along with nice replacement bill for damages from your lawyer. Call the police if they come back to your home. You owe them nothing. As for the siblings, too bad that they have to put up with their parents now. You did it for 3 months. Not a-hole. This is very abnormal behavior. They broke into your home and trashed your stuff. Not really sure how they can come back from that. I keep my distance from them. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for calling my dad to pick me up and telling him what happened with my mom? My 17 female parents, 35 female/male, had me young and never married. I usually spend 1 week with my dad and 1 with my mom, since they live pretty close and are friendly towards the other. My dad is single now, but my mom has been dating Jerry, 38 male, for the past 8 years. He's amazing not only towards my mom but with me too. He and my dad are friends, and I know I can trust them both. My problem is my mom, who never had any issue letting me know that I ruined her life. Sometimes she's an amazing mom, sometimes she's just not, and this was one of those times. The issue happened last Friday. While I was at the shower, I felt a small lump on the right side of one of my breasts. I freaked out and thought that if I ignored it, it would just disappear. I kept showering, and when I went out, I got half dressed. I started to inspect myself again, and I had a door in front of me. Out of nowhere, Jerry opens the door and we both react. I cover myself and he turns around, starts to say sorry, closes the door and leave. I felt bad, of course, but I know that Jerry didn't do it with ill intent since the shower wasn't running and I forgot to lock the door. A few hours later, Jerry comes into my room and starts to apologize to me. He says that since he saw my door closed, he thought I was in my room, and that he was in an emergency to get into the bathroom, but that he understood that things will inevitably be weird between us for a while, and that it's best for us to tell my mom. I asked him to please don't tell her, but he says that if we keep it a secret, it won't look good, and that my mom has to know. That he'll give me all the space I want, but we can't and shouldn't keep this between us. I agreed, and we both went down to tell my mom. She started berating me for flashing to Jerry, that she always knew I wanted her man, and starts to call me names. Jerry tries to explain to her that it wasn't like that, and that it was him who accidentally opened the door. But my mom says that he doesn't need to defend me and says that I have to go to my room without dinner for being an ass. I did go to my room, but I called my dad to pick me up and explained what happened, and that I didn't feel comfortable here. Not for Jerry, but for my mom. He then tells me to pick more stuff than usual, and that he'll be here in no time. After 10 minutes, I go downstairs, and my mom and dad are fighting and is telling her that I won't be back until she apologizes to me. My mom called me Nahal for letting my dad know our personal business and for lying to him. Then the next day, she called me angry because Jerry dumped her for her reaction. Also, before anyone worries, the lump in my breast was an ingrown hair that I never noticed. My dad took me to the doctor, and they ran some tests just to make sure, but everything came clear. Not Nahal. Your mom is a mean woman, and you never have to keep it a secret when somebody's treating you poorly. You do not owe her immediate forgiveness, if at all. Do not let her cut you down or bully you. She sounds like she has some toxic issues that she needs to work out on her own, without you around as her punching bag. Also, give your dad a high five. He sounds awesome. It has your best interests at heart. Can we also give Jerry here a high five too? It sounds like he handled this 100% correct, especially dumping the mom part. Is there any way Jerry and Dad can co-parent platonically? They seem like a dream team, and they like each other. They're actually pretty good friends. My father took his sweet time to trust Jerry, but after a few years, my dad told me that if I wanted to include Jerry in some father-daughter activities in school or anything, I could do it. I really thought he was gonna stay in my life forever. Not day home. First, I'm glad the lump was nothing serious. Your mom is nuts. And it appears that Jerry finally figured that out. Stay with your dad. You don't need to be around her. Hugs. Edit. First of all, I want to thank you all for all of your support. I really thought that I did something wrong because my mom is my mom and I want the best for her. I know that she loves Jerry so much. I want to apologize for all of my typos. I was crying when I made a post because I saw a photo of my mom and wanted to see if I was in the wrong or not. Jerry called her out when she called me an ass. It only left after my dad picked me up. He lived with us full time, so I guess he waited for me to be safe. We haven't spoken since then. My dad said that I don't need to be back to my mom's next week and that I can stay here if I want to. I know that my mom's gonna fight him because although he doesn't pay child support, my dad gave her some money monthly in case of an emergency. Jerry used to give her money too. She doesn't have a job or anything. That's why she kept me there despite our bad habits. And I felt that I had to stay because I didn't want her to be alone. She didn't kept it all. I used to get $20 weekly from her. Someone told me that if they go to court, I can tell the judge that I want to live with my father, and they'll take it into consideration, and that I won't be getting Jerry in a bad spot despite what happened in the bathroom.